Our thoughts and feelings are our own and are not representative of Electronic Arts as a whole or anyone else.
Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Team Lift podcast. This is going to be one of those crazy shows that we do. We got a guest in the studio with us. And if you guys know, when we bring guests in, we don't bullshit. We bring in the serious addicts of these things that we bring in. So this is a special episode because, one, it's our first show ever about WWE and wrestling, even though you and I are huge wrestling fans. We've never discussed it on the show. But the guy we're bringing in is a dear friend of ours, great guy, fun guy, lead singer of Burial Wraith, great metal band out of Austin, Texas. You need to catch him if you've never seen him. But this guy, unbeknownst to most of the world, is a fucking wrestling addict. Can we call you that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Mr. Adam Wright in the studio with us today. Adam, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Man, no problem, man. When we started putting this idea together of a wrestling show, we could not think of anybody else we wanted on here more than you. We were like, it's not a wrestling show unless Adam's on here with us. So we're glad you came into the studio with us to do this, man.
Oh, yeah.
So
this is going to be good.
For our first wrestling show, we're not going to talk about just anything in wrestling news. We're going to cover the Super Bowl of wrestling news. We're going to cover WrestleMania. And WrestleMania 33 is what we're going to cover today. So, you watched every match.
Yes,
I did. Beginning to end, pre-show and all. Mm-hmm. We're going to go through these matches and we're going to get your opinions on them. Okay?
Awesome. Let's do this.
Let's break it down. So, let's get into it. Brandon, anything you want to hit him with before we get started? You ready for this?
That ramp, man. Jesus, that ramp.
Oh, let us talk
about
this.
It was fucking ramp mania. That's what it was.
It's like a half a mile long.
Like, if you'd have let somebody in a wheelchair go at the top of it, they would have died if they hit something at the end.
Bro, because
they would have been going so fast.
Hopes that they could have stayed on a straight line in that wheelchair
Seriously.
Going down, because that was a large ramp.
Yeah.
Now, what was that? That was the Citrus Bowl Stadium? What was that?
It's called Camping World now, but it used to be the Citrus Bowl.
So it is the Camping World Stadium.
Same,
okay.
Same building.
Same building. Okay. Man, talk about a massive show. Like a fucking roller coaster?
Yeah, that was epic.
I was like blown away by what they put in. WrestleMania is, I don't want to say it's bigger than Super Bowl, but technically it is way more impressive to watch than Super Bowl with how much they put into the production of it. Super Bowl, we just are excited just to see. It's really just a football game where the best from the AFC and the best from the NFC get together. But it's not a major production number until halftime. You think about that. Super Bowl's a halftime show. Maybe some stars will come out and sing the national anthem in America the Beautiful before it happens. When we get a flyover from the Blue Angels, great. Let's play the game. That is Super Bowl's draw, and then we wait to see what the commercials were like. That's Super Bowl. The entire 4-5 hour spectacle with the pre-show that is WrestleMania.
The pre-show started at what, like 4:30?
Yeah, 4 o'clock our time.
4 o'clock, and the show didn't end until 11. Yeah.
So almost.
And the whole fucking time, it's just going and going and going.
There are matches in the pre-show that start at 4, and that's when the sun was out. Okay, and they were an hour ahead of us, so that was 5 o'clock their time. That means that show started at 5 o'clock on the East Coast and did not get out till a little after midnight.
That's crazy.
WrestleMania.
It's WrestleMania. It is truly a huge event, and we're going to get into it. What we're going to do, I'm going to talk to you about a match. I will tell you who the match was, and you will give us your impressions on these matches, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, especially the pre-show. Because, Brandon, did you catch a lot of the pre-show?
I sadly did not. I arrived in time for the pre-show, and then I had to jet to go pick something up and come back. Okay. So by the time I got back, I caught, I think, the last half of the Dean Ambrose match, and then AJ Styles once the actual real show started.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
missed all the pre-show this year.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, I'd been out of town, did the comedy show the night before, so kind of kicked my ass. Waking up was hard. Okay, so let's get into it, though. Man, Adam, this is going to be a fun one. WWE Cruiserweight Champion. This was Neville versus Austin Aries. What was this match like for you?
I thought this was really good. I like both these guys. Neville won, retained the championship. I would have liked to see this on the main card. They just brought back the Cruiserweight title, so I think it would have been nice to see that on the big show. But it was a great match. It's awesome seeing Austin Aries in WWE. He'd been in Impact Wrestling for years and years before he came to NXT, and now was on the main roster. I really love his feud with Neville. Great matchup for each other. Had no problems with Neville retaining that at all. He's a good Cruiserweight champion. And
now, this was supposed to be that would have been his first Cruiserweight title for Austin, right?
Yeah, correct. He has yet to hold that title. He hasn't held any titles in WWE so far. But he's a former Impact TNA heavyweight champion.
Okay, so yeah, he's held the belts in the other ones, but this would have been his first one. Okay, cool. Not bad. Then we had the 4th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. That came on afterwards. Weird match.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Okay, explain how Rob Gronkowski gets involved in this whole thing.
Okay, so
who wins it first of all?
Mojo Rawley won, who I believe was also one of the New England Patriots at one point in time. So he's a former teammate of Rob Gronkowski. Jinder Mahal was still involved in the match, went out of the ring and got in Rob Gronkowski's face. Altercation happens there. He gets back in the ring and starts fighting with Mojo Rawley, who we know is Gronkowski's good friend. Gronk gets in the ring and starts wrecking shop and knocking everyone down, leading to Mojo Rawley getting the win. I hated that. I'm not really a big fan of Mojo Rawley. I hate the Patriots, so that was some bullshit.
You're a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
we can say that here. Die-hard Dallas Cowboy fan, die-hard wrestling fan. So I think our joke was, I don't need more reasons to hate Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
But thanks, WWE, for giving me one more. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, they were in Florida, so it's like there's not like a ton of Patriots fans in Florida. I mean, if it was in the New England area, I mean, sure, why not bring him out? But
yeah, it was a weird cameo of all places, and it was just like, I'm not quite sure what you were going for with.
I think it's because Triple H is a Patriots mark. So
possibly, man. You missed this match, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you missed anything.
I think I got back to the house and walked in while it was on the television. Like, they were screaming out about Gronkowski, and he was just hitting people. And then I went in the kitchen, and I came back out, and the match was over. So it was like, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, no, you did not. Because all my friends that watched it were just like, I don't even know what that bullshit was. And that was when everybody kept saying that to me, I was like, I'm so glad I missed this match because I don't like Rob Gronkowski. And I don't think it's anything against him. I'm just not a big Patriots fan.
I think
same.
WWE is always a whore for pulling in people from outside of WWE to try to get that fan base to be attracted to wrestling.
Sure.
So, that's why we had fucking Stephen Amell on the WWE wrestling for no reason.
I liked that cameo better than I liked this one, I'll say. On that last note on that one, I think Sami Zayn should have won that. He was in the match for a long time and was eliminated. I hated that. That clearly should have gone to him.
No.
That's all I'll say about that.
Save that name. We're going to come back to that name later in the show. I like that name. Okay. So, next big match out of that we got was the Intercontinental Champion match. That was Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin.
Or as I like to call him, regular guy.
That's what you call Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, it's just regular guy.
Dude, Dean Ambrose is the guy that we all knew, a guy like Dean Ambrose that drank a lot of beer and kicked a lot of ass.
If you just
and he was
walked
a cool
by
guy.
him in real life, you wouldn't even realize that he was part of WWE. He just looks like a regular guy.
I wouldn't even recognize Dean. Like, if we were in a Walmart together, I wouldn't even question that. Like, is that Dean Ambrose? He looks kind of like him, but I wouldn't run up on him and ask him. It'd just be like, probably some guy named Billy Ray in there.
Yeah, some guy.
It's the jeans and the shirt, I think.
Yeah, he's always just looked like he's completely out of place.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him, but I thought he looked cooler when he was in the Shield and he had the tactical
They
vest.
all look cooler in the Shield.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's my thing. Let's talk about this. Because I'm a Roman Reigns fan. And the Shield, he was a liked guy when he was part of a heel team. And they was just coming in and just fucking everybody up. And people love. I don't get wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are the only people I know that root for bad guys. They love bad guys.
Yeah.
No other sport, movie, no movie comes out. You can't make a movie and it's a bad guy just killing people and doing bad things, unless it's a horror movie.
I can think of one, though, is everybody loves to root for fucking, what's his name from Marvel, Loki. Everybody wants Loki to win. He keeps showing up over and over again in the movies.
And I don't even know.
And he's their best villain. Like, everybody likes him.
I don't get it either. Because Loki never means to do anything good. If Loki was a real life person, he is not here for women to fawn over. He's going to fuck something up for everybody and enslave us. But women are like, oh, Tom Middleton. And I'm like, you're dumb. Okay, why do you root for a bad guy? But let's get back to this. Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin. Who won on this one?
Dean Ambrose. He retained. No problems there. I would have honestly been cool with either one winning this match. It seemed super short. It was originally on the main card and was moved to the pre-show and switched with the women's SmackDown title match. Kind of hoped for a little more out of this one. Wish they would have gone a little longer, to be honest.
Brendan, how long was this one? I think you have
only 10 minutes and 55 seconds. That was it.
So a little under 11-minute match, and it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose has had some great matches. This wasn't one of his best, but
he can hold that arm. That arm, he just holds it all the time.
Yeah.
In every match.
I'm gonna tell you,
guy's arm gets hurt.
He's never gonna heal.
And then he just leaves.
I got a question for you. Now, this match here is the one that everybody drives me crazy about.
Okay, this was the best match. This should have been the closing match of WrestleMania.
Okay.
This was the best fucking match the whole fucking time.
And this is what kills me, because most of my friends that talk to me about wrestling love this next match that we're about to talk about.
It was amazing.
This match, okay, first of all, let's go ahead and tell. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. Can we finally admit Shane McMahon has the skills to pay the bills inside a wrestling ring?
Yeah, he always has a crazy, memorable moment in any match that he's in. It usually is him on the receiving end of something crazy.
Yeah, falling off a speaker.
Yeah.
Or getting crashed through tables.
Jumping off the cage. Like, he
needs to stop jumping off shit, okay? He jumped off shit, 2 or 3 times during that match, and every single one of them failed? Every one of them.
Yeah, maybe he should change up his offense.
But he does these crazy
jumping.
freaking stunts in every one of his matches. You remember it for years after every event. And it's like, but this was one where he actually got in the ring and he really had some wrestling chops. It wasn't like a crazy, hey, I'm just jump off of stuff and you're going to beat my ass.
Yeah, it was a good
He really
match.
got in some good, he can really put on a good show.
I will be honest, I hated the sound of this one going into it. I was hoping that anybody else would have been facing AJ Styles. It exceeded my expectations. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It's the best match of the night. The best match of the night.
Bro. Okay, friend of the show, Belly. We all know and love Belly. He's out of Amarillo. Guy's a crazy fan on Adam's level. This guy was like, when they announced this match, I was sick to my stomach, like, this is going to suck. They could have put him up against anybody. He said, I would have loved it, seen him and Zayn go at it, but that's not what they give us. He said, and then this is one of my favorite damn matches of the whole night. He said it was just everything you wanted in a match. Crazy offense from Shane, AJ Styles, who's, a very damn good showman in his own right.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's athletic as hell. He's a daredevil in the ring. Really, as I like to say, very athletic wrestler. These two guys put on a hell of a show. I went back and watched the videos that I could find online of it, and I was not disappointed about what I saw. How long was that match, Brandon?
20 minutes and 35 seconds.
It was worth it.
Yeah, every fucking moment.
Yeah, I liked that they gave them a decent amount of time.
And the thing that convinced me that this should have been the last match of the night was the fucking 15 minutes of promo that they did before they started this match to set it up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the New Day.
The
New Day
forever.
hosted this year. We didn't really touch on that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can we? Okay. New Day host this year, and I'm on my way to go see you guys, and my phone is blowing up on my way to get there because all my buddies are like, oh my God, New Day's out, and they're promoting Stormblood. Final Fantasy, and I was like, they what? They say they have come out. They got a Moogle. These guys they're doing Final Fantasy characters. You guys have got to talk about this. Wrestling has a video game angle, and I didn't want to tell them we're already kind of plotting this show. we were already plotting a show, but thanks, New Day. Way to go. And I love New Day. I don't know how you guys feel about them, but I love Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
And then New Day came along, and then I love Booty O's cereal because that way I can say I'm eating booty for breakfast and nobody gets offended or mad at me. And I just thought, this is a great combination, man. I just think they're really energetic. They're a great team. They're great on the show. They actually are really good on the mic. And they seem to be improving.
Constantly entertaining. They're great. I had no problem with them hosting. I didn't really see where they could have kind of fit in the story building up to Mania. Mm-hmm. So I think having them hosting was a good choice.
It's a good way to integrate them without having them be a part of anything else that was going on with the rest of
They're too
Mania.
over not to use for the show somehow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Awesome. Definitely awesome.
That fucking 3 mile yellow brick road to the fucking ring was pretty good too.
That was cool.
Bro, now here's the match where it gets interesting. Your guy, and I'm calling you Adam, your guy, Kevin Owens,
my boy,
versus the United States champion Chris Jericho. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. KO is a beast. He's a one-man wrecking machine right now. And for a big guy, I've never seen a big man this athletic. Like some of the stuff off the top ropes and somersaults and jumps. This dude is doing some crazy shit for a big dude on the top rope.
Yeah, he can move. Kevin Owens is great. I don't know what all I can say about him. His constantly good matches. Loved him teamed up with Chris Jericho as best friends. And this match didn't disappoint either. I thought it was a good time.
Oh yeah, I felt like and this is something we're going to be talking about throughout this episode. I felt like there were a lot of what I felt were old school guys are passing the torch to the next generation.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like a theme throughout the show.
Yeah, because Chris Jericho, I mean, he still got it. I mean, this guy's not about to retire anytime soon. He could still be wrestling. He's pretty impressive. But what gets me about this is that when you get a guy like Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho in a show together and it's that good, I mean, Kevin Owens is, I don't think I've ever seen him put on a bad show.
Yeah, all of his matches have been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, top notch. Him and Zayn put on. Sami Zayn had a show one time, and I was like,
yeah, those two together are fantastic.
That's some of my favorites, is to watch those two together.
Yeah.
Anytime they're versing each other, it's a sit down, grab your seat, and don't talk. This one's about to be a barn burner.
Absolutely.
And I love that, man. Now, this is where I started getting involved with it. Okay, so the Raw Women's Champion, we had Bayley versus Charlotte Flair.
Sorry to cut you off. Kevin Owens won the championship on that last match.
So he unseated Jericho, didn't he?
Correct. Yeah, just to give the result there.
So he is the new United States champion, right? That's the belt he has, the United States champion.
Correct.
Wow, man, that's that passing the torch thing.
Yeah.
Let's keep that in mind. So we got two things to keep in mind: passing the torch, and we're also going to be coming back to Sami Zayn, who's got his second mention. Okay, this next one, Raw Women's Champion. This was actually a really fun match for me.
Yeah.
I love this match. It was a fatal 4-way elimination match.
Yeah, I like all these women. I thought it was a really cool matchup. It seemed like the match flew by, though. That was kind of my only complaint. It seemed super short.
Yeah, I kind of want to know, Brandon, what was the time on the Raw Women's Champion match? Do you know?
Let's see. Women's Champion.
And that would have been Bayley versus Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks.
12:08.
So 12:08.
Yeah.
It did not feel like it was. It felt like a lot went on in that 12 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely did. It seemed like they were moving along really fast.
Because it was Sasha Banks.
But that was the match where part of it was an iPhone or like an iPod commercial, right?
What do you mean?
The chick dancing and like it's all like backlit. Can't see.
No. That's later.
That's later.
That's the later. No, the Raw Women's was Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax.
Oh, okay.
Nia Jax is that big girl.
Yeah.
That did it take all three of them to jump on her to tag her out?
Triple powerbomb. That's how they took her out.
That was amazing. That was actually kind of cool when I saw that.
Spot.
And then you had Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte Flair were left, and there's no love lost between these three women. I'm a huge Bayley fan. My buddy Stephen Rodwell is a huge Sasha Banks fan. You like all four of these women.
I would have been happy with any of them walking out with the title. Bayley definitely deserves it. No complaints at all that she retained.
Yeah, none at all. I felt like, and I said this that night, I felt like Charlotte Flair held the belt way too long. And I think she got to hold it that long because we were waiting for Bayley to get in.
Waiting for Bayley to establish herself in the story, I think.
Yeah, and so I felt like, man, Charlotte has held this belt way too long. I'm cool with seeing a Sasha Banks champion. I could have seen a Sasha Banks champion. I'd be honest with you, Nia Jax being the female version of the Big Show or Ryback, I'm kind of cool with her taking it too because she's a great heel.
Yeah, she's great. Part of the extended family of The Rock, if I'm correct. There.
I mean, somehow like a cousin or something from that family.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So The Rock and Nia Jax. Who else? There was the tag
Roman
team.
Reigns.
She's a cousin of The Rock.
So the
Usos and Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
that's right. The Usos and Roman Reigns. That's a wrestling family.
That's just the current gen that are in WWE. It extends far beyond that.
Yeah, because we could go all the way back to Dad and Granddad and some others, right?
Yeah.
So there's some stuff going on in that family when it comes to wrestling, but hellified genes in there, man.
And she's Samoan and German, so she's big and angry.
As long as she would cook me sausage and get me beer, I'd take her to the sausage festival. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not going back to that town again.
I could go with her and she'd beat up everybody that tried to get on me. I'm just saying. So, out of that one, we got Bayley as the win. We knew it. This next match, mind blower. What we had was the Raw Tag Team Championship. We knew it was going to be a ladder match. And then New Day comes out right before the match is getting, like, the three teams are in. They're all in the ring. New Day comes out and says, hey, this is going to be a fatal four-way. But who could the other team be? And the audience is going crazy because New Day kind of acts like they're walking down that long-ass ramp. Like,
I thought it was them.
I did, too. I thought they were about to announce they were going to be in it. And didn't they make this surprise announcement? And
shit blew the fuck up in the apartment and at that stadium.
Oh,
holy
people
fuck,
lost their
dude,
minds.
Everybody was
like,
going
I
crazy.
think we were all like, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah. As soon as the Hardys music hit,
oh
everybody
my
lost
God.
it.
Yeah, we got Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, to come back for first of all, let us think about it. The Hardy Boys have given us some of the best ladder matches ever. Okay?
Absolutely.
Ever. And if you think of ladders, tables, and chairs, you think of the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. These three teams are synonymous with what a ladders, table, chair match is about in the WWE today. They are the ones that push those matches up to the boundaries of what could be done and what was impressive. And then to see the Hardy Boys in this fatal four-way.
Yeah, that was my favorite surprise of the evening, I think. That was a great moment. So it was the Hardy Boys versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Club, right. Cesaro and Sheamus, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass. All great teams. Part of the reason it was so awesome that the Hardys returned at WrestleMania was because literally the night before they had wrestled the Young Bucks for Ring of Honor, also in Orlando, and had effectively or had made it seem as though they had left Orlando. They were signing stuff for fans, telling them we're leaving. See you guys, and they left in different vehicles. Were basically hidden, and then
they kept them under that ramp for the next several days until WrestleMania.
Bro, and this was like a next level hiding job. Like when somebody wins, the celebrity weight loss show on NBC, and then they keep them in hiding until the final reveal. That was the shit they did for this. Because nobody knew the Hardy Boys were coming out for this fatal four-way.
David Copperfield shit.
Bro, but here's my thing. I would have been so cool with Enzo and Cass.
Oh, yeah, that would have been great, too. I'm a huge fan of the Club. I love Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Love them in New Japan. I wish WWE would do more with them, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
It was great seeing the Hardy Boys come back. Everyone in my apartment watching this was freaking out.
Yeah, everybody.
So, not a person.
I was waiting for Nick to fucking have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like, seriously.
Our boy Nick Valdese, and if you don't, people, you know Nick. He was on our show. He's been a guest on the show several times, but he was also on our first Twitch stream, and he played Emily Wants to Play With Us, and it was the first time we almost gave a Mexican man a heart attack on the show.
Yeah.
Love Nick.
This was the second time.
Yeah, Nick almost had another heart attack watching WrestleMania 33, and it was well worth the price of admission. Okay, it was amazing. I'm still a little torn about this one. Okay, because while I wanted Enzo and Cass to win, seeing the Hardy Boys come out, the Hardy Boys basically lost the title the night before, and we got a title this night.
Yeah. So when what was crazy about this was that they lost titles in a completely different promotion. So everyone still thinks that they're working for Ring of Honor. And they put over the Young Bucks, who are probably one of the best tag teams in the world. WWE has been trying to sign them for years, but they're making great money on the independents. Probably the most sought after wrestlers out there that are not currently under contract with WWE. Yeah, it was a great surprise. Everyone thought they were still with Ring of Honor. Jeff Hardy had gone on record a few days before saying they were not signed to WWE because rumors had started to heat up. And here we go. And the stories I had read online about them having to disguise them effectively to get them in the building, I think that's awesome. In the day of spoilers,
they just did the fucking Marvel thing where you put on a hoodie and a hat and some sunglasses, and then nobody knows who you are, and it probably worked.
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. To me, that match was crazy. It was the next match after that match that, I felt like they had to. This match could have been so much more, but it was so much boring to me.
John Cena is fucking potato salad, man.
Oh, so John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and is it Maurice?
Correct.
Okay, because I always jack her name.
All John
Maurice.
Cena did the whole match was just get beat up.
Yeah, this one was extremely disappointing to me.
And for no reason.
In the match. Yeah, The Miz is absolutely killing it right now as one of the top heels, and Cena's had some of his best matches ever recently, especially with AJ Styles. So I was really expecting Cena and Miz to steal the show here.
They had an opportunity.
Yeah.
Bro, Nikki and Maurice could have stole the show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Those two could have really got into
Maurice it. Actually in a ring in forever. So I was hoping that she would, exceed expectations there. Nikki's pretty solid. So I think that this match should have been a lot more. The end of it though, seeing Cena propose, tugged on the heartstrings a little bit. Okay, I think that was the best part of the match.
Yeah, when he proposed. What got me were the women that were there were saw it a mile away. They were the most jaded women we could have watched this match with.
This is true.
They were not surprised. All of us guys, I think guys got a little bit more emotional. Hey, that was actually pretty cool.
Zero emotion. Did not care.
Didn't care.
Could have done
took me back to
without this whole thing. The promotion, the promo before the match was just god awful.
Yeah, I didn't like a lot of the build
promo before the match was hilarious for just to see the Miz and Maurice mocking Cena and Nikki.
Right.
That was pure comedy. Those were pure comedy. But it was a boring promotion and a pretty much boring match.
Yeah, the end was the best part because
it was over.
Well, that too. But it took me back to almost when Savage and Miss Elizabeth had reunited after he lost to the Ultimate Warrior and had to retire.
Bro, here's my thing. You're an old school guy, so I'm old. I remember when that happens, okay? And that was one of the things that cracks me up. I was like, you had to be a really little kid when that match happened.
Yeah, I don't know if I watched it at being that young, but I have over the years I've seen that a million times.
Yeah, and it just kind of got me that when you were talking about it, you kind of mentioned that whole thing we got into a conversation about that night was that theme of passing the torch on, and it felt like a lot of things that happened at this WrestleMania were things that we're going to be seeing pictures of this years down the road. WrestleMania 50 could come up, and these would be on the anniversary. There are clips in this one match that are going to be on that anniversary show for WrestleMania.
Lots of member berries.
Yeah, absolutely. Man. Lots of member berries. But yeah, next match. I was full on 100% into this next match.
Same.
wanted to see this match more than any other match, I thought. This one here was the one that got me. Seth Rollins versus Triple H in a non-sanctioned match.
Yeah, I thought this one was great. This might have been my favorite match of the evening. I liked this one a lot. Triple H hasn't seemed to... I don't think he's lost a beat at all.
Oh, God, no. For a guy who hadn't...
very often anymore.
Yeah, doesn't wrestle a lot. I think we see him pretty much... He's kind of becoming the guy that's like a WrestleMania-only show guy.
Yeah. Because
I don't even think he did a lot of other shows last year.
No, I don't believe so either. He headlined Mania last year and put over Roman Reigns for the title.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him on SummerSlam or what's the one, the Revenge one?
He may have been on, but it would have been the Big Four if I remember correctly, like SummerSlam, Rumble, Survivor Series. I'd have to look back at that one and see how, because he was around, but yeah, he's not around nearly as much these days.
Yes. So now this was an amazing match.
Yeah, I thought so too.
This match was pretty awful. I mean, awesome. Seth Rollins has been, especially since this, once again, the Shield kind of went all their separate ways.
Yeah.
And he was the one that pretty much sold the Shield out.
Yeah, he destroyed the Shield.
To the kind
Authority.
Of partner up with the Authority and to be with Triple H's guy. You know, we kind of knew Triple H is going to make him the man now.
Yeah.
You know, he's priming it. So there was this mentor kind of new kid thing that was the angle to this match.
Yep.
So I looked it up. WrestleMania 32, Roman Reigns defeated Triple H to get the title.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
correct.
And then we don't think Triple H did a lot of other shows until WrestleMania 33.
Well, he
so
won the title.
Essentially,
at the
he gets to
Rumble,
work.
I think.
Yeah, did he?
30 minutes a
that's how it
year
was.
and make a fuckload of money. Because that match was 27 minutes.
He was a large on-screen role for a good part of the year. I believe he won the title in the Rumble that year.
I think he did.
And then Reigns won it from him because that was shortly after Rollins had injured his knee.
And that's when they kind of unexpectedly had to...
Yeah, they took the title off
Took the title from him and just put it up for grabs.
So that match last year at 32 was 27 minutes. This match, which wasn't even a title match, was 25 and a half.
And it was great.
This is a long fucking match
yeah.
for not a title match.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Punishing, brutal. Like, to me, I look at how much they threw their bodies into it, and Triple H through the years has always been a guy in the ring. He's giving you 110%.
Yeah, absolutely. And same with Rollins. I love that they played up the knee injury. They seem to be selling it the entire match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this was my match of the night.
Seriously. Oh, wow. You're going big on this one.
Yeah.
Great match. Not taking anything from it. Definitely, if I had to pick it, I'm going to say top 5 out of all the matches. Possibly even top 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Top 3 for me.
I did love how it ended as well with Rollins beating Triple H with his own move. Definitely speaks to the theme of passing the torch there.
Yeah, so. When you get taken out, and if people don't know, in case you're listening to this and you're your whole, every wrestler has a finishing move. All right, so The Rock used to have the Rock Bottom. Stone Cold had the Stone Cold Stunner. Triple H had his finishing move, and it was the pedigree, right? And so Seth Rollins basically did a pedigree to Triple H. He beat Triple H with his own finishing move.
Yeah, so last year when Rollins joined the Authority, he changed his finishing move from the curb stomp to the pedigree because Triple H had effectively handed it to him and asked him to make that his new finisher.
Right.
So Rollins has been using that for a while. So to see him hit Triple H with it was a great moment. I actually didn't like that he started using that as the finisher, probably until this match when he beat Triple H with it. But,
yeah, it was a weird thing, man. It was just kind of like
It was a long con. It was a long con on that one.
Yeah.
It took a long time to pay off.
Yeah, it was a long con on this one. They played the long ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, wow, they really came back. And it kept, that whole match, you kept trading back like somebody's about to put a pedigree on somebody. Because they kept working their way out of him and doing reverses and flipping reverses. And it just like, by the end, you were just like, I don't know who's going to get the pedigree, but this is amazing. And to see him get it, that's when we really were like, okay, there is a theme of the last generation is passing the torch to this new school of guys. And it really there was something about that.
Yeah.
Next match. Dude, now this was the craziest damn match I've probably seen in the last 3 years in wrestling. First of all, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. They're both kind of heels to me, and they're both really good at the heel role. Bray Wyatt is weird as fuck.
Yeah. He has powers because wrestling.
It's because wrestling. Yeah. Which is our new theme. Because wrestling. It doesn't have to make sense. It's because wrestling. And this match was crazy. So a couple of times we were watching the match, and you guys were all kind of I think the pizzas had showed up then, and everybody was getting pizza and food. And I was like, is anybody looking at the ring? And the ring had turned to all maggots and stuff and worms.
Maggots and worms.
Crickets.
Yeah, and crickets one time, the video camera from the top. And you see Randy Orton kind of selling it.
It's like they had a projector above the ring that was actually projecting a gigantic image on top of the ring.
Yeah, and the whole arena went dark so you could see it.
Yep.
And it was on the screens what they were seeing. And it was just a weird shot to watch it, but it was just such a weird match, man. I was just like, what the hell? And Bray Wyatt does that thing where he kind of bends over like the girl in The Exorcist.
Almost like a crab walk.
Yeah, it's so weird. And I'm just like, I don't get him. What is going on here?
I like Bray Wyatt a lot. I thought it was really cool that he got the title, although he's such a character. I don't think he actually needs it. I hated that Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble, and I knew he was going to win the championship off of Bray Wyatt.
You went into it thinking this. I remember that.
Absolutely. I knew it was coming. I wish this match would have been longer and better. Bray Wyatt deserved more.
Yeah. Now, Bray Wyatt, I don't think we're done with him. I think he has such a larger than life personality. I mean, he kind of outgrew the Wyatt family.
Exactly.
He's so large.
He's almost like a Jake the Snake, where the fans are going to react to him, and he's going to be a part of the story and be great, whether he has a title or not. He doesn't need it to be over with the crowd.
Oh, yeah, no. In fact, I think the crowd, as much as people like Randy Orton, if Bray Wyatt would have got the win out of that and kept the WWE, I don't think there would have been a person in that arena that would have been upset.
I would have liked to see that, because I mean it seemed everyone expected Orton to win because he won the Rumble. Also, Orton's had the title how many times now? 13, I believe. So it's this was the first time to see Wyatt with the belt. Wish it would have been a little longer.
I think
a little more with it.
I don't think that's the last time we're going to see Wyatt with the belt. I do think Wyatt's getting that belt back, and I think that the battle with Randy Orton is just beginning.
Yeah. Also, I hated that Orton was supposed to be the face of this feud after he had just burned down Bray Wyatt's house, and it's like, hey, root for me, I'm the good guy.
Yeah. How do you burn down a dude's house and you the good guy? Yeah. You don't even know if he had insurance.
But Bray Wyatt's the bad guy.
He was burning down a coal leader's house. I mean, how can he not be bad?
It was a compound, sorry. We don't know that it was his actual house, but it's the Wyatt compound, which I assume Bray Wyatt lives in.
And if you watch the promo video, it looked like he burned down the...
No.
Well, that was the garage part.
Yeah, the garage. That's what we kept starting to go. Did he burn down the compound? Well, we know he burned down a storage shed or garage on the compound.
Yeah.
But and he burned down the rocket chair from the Wyatt family rocket
Sister
chair.
Abigail's chair.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, that's weird. This match is weird. I liked it overall, but it was one of those where you kind of watched it and you went...
Yeah, they should have... I was hoping that they would have closed the show, because he won the Rumble. I really was hoping for more build-up for this. I mean, they had plenty of TV time leading into it. I just wasn't that satisfied with the feud or the match itself.
Okay, man.
Although the projector was kind of cool. I wish they would... Hopefully they continue to incorporate that, and we see more of
I wouldn't mind seeing some
magical worm powers.
Magical powers from Bray Wyatt in more matches. I wouldn't mind that at all. This next match, I didn't know what to expect. First of all, I damn near pissed myself when Goldberg came back. Okay.
Wait, sorry. Before we get to that one, I think we missed Naomi.
No, that's 12. That actually comes after.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that one, because we got some questions about that match.
You guys are right, yeah.
Yeah, so this was the Brock Lesnar Goldberg match, which, what event was it when we just watched Brock Lesnar get decimated by Goldberg.
It was the Survivor Series in November, and then they fought each other in the Royal Rumble match for a little while too.
All right, so yeah, but we knew Survivor Series. Goldberg makes his entrance into WWE, and what a fucking entrance!
Yeah,
I don't think they could have sold that entrance better because he comes out and he demolishes the Conqueror. And Brock Lesnar is kind of seen as a unstoppable force. Going to do whatever the hell he wants to in the WWE. Nobody's going to stop him. And, he was in the WWE and then he left and he went back to MMA and he leaves there a freaking champion after he just wrecks and he gets stronger. He comes back to the WWE. He's more jacked. He's even bigger and he can really put on a good show. And he's still, bro.
Yeah, so this one I thought for sure that Brock was going to win because it seemed like from the storyline that even though Goldberg was as over with the crowd as ever, it seemed like he was only back for a short amount of time, and I feel like the crowd kind of knew that. And the next night on Raw, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, he did come out and kind of give a farewell speech after the show. So it seems like he's retiring again, although he did pick up the mic and say never, so he could still come back. But it seemed like it was a certain thing that Brock was going to win this one to me.
Yeah.
So.
A short arc for money.
I would agree with that statement. I'm not a huge fan of either of these guys. It wasn't a terrible match. They beat the shit out of each other. But
it was only like 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's long for a Goldberg match, but I was hoping that they would have had at least a 15, 20-minute match. See, like, the stuff they did in the match was good. I just would have liked to see that for like at least 10 more minutes.
I could have gone for 10 more minutes of that match.
Yeah.
Because I love big powerhouse matches. Those are the matches I want to see. And I said it to you guys, I kind of want to see a Kevin Owens versus a Brock Lesnar match. Yeah,
Kevin Owens has said in interviews before too that that's a match he really wants. I would like to see that. They would have they could easily somehow make Kevin Owens a face again and then set that up. So
yes, because a heel versus heel match when it's those two, I'd watch it. That could headline a Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar match could headline an event. I'm sorry, both of those guys have enough fans and appeal as heels to do it.
I think it would be a good match, but Brock would win.
Yeah, Brock
would fucking destroy him.
Yeah, although Kevin Owens will fight dirty, but yeah, I would see Brock winning that one, at least right now. You never know how it'll shake out.
I'm surprised, to be honest, how fucking jacked Big Show is right now that he didn't make an appearance at fucking WrestleMania.
He was actually in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He was one of my two to pick to win it. I thought it was either going to be Braun Strowman or Big Show, but they both actually got eliminated pretty early in the match.
Big Show is
but
Big
Brandon actually
Show.
wasn't there when that was going on. So
yeah, he's the Big Show now. He's not the Big Fat Show. He's like
he's cut.
Freaking cut machine now.
He looks scary. He looks like fucking Zangief.
Bro, yeah. He really has got a look going about it.
Real quick, I'm going to stop you right there. Wrestlers that look like Zangief. Brian Cage from Lucha Underground is I'm pretty sure he's Zangief in real life. You guys need to see this guy. He's great. He's also the Wrestle Circus Ringmaster Champion in Austin. Shout out to the local federation here.
Let me see. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. You may have something here. I'm looking at this picture and I'm going.
I don't know if he always had a mohawk, but he currently has a mohawk.
Look at that, bro.
And he looks like Zangief.
Bro, there he is. There he is with it. Like, where that side picture? Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, we're looking at it on Google Images here. And
man, that's...
For the listeners at home, Google Brian Cage. He's badass.
Yeah, Lucha Underground.
Correct.
Yeah, man, bro, he's got a Zangief. He could be in the Street Fighter. If they want to make a Street Fighter movie, just go get him. There's
Absolutely.
Your Zangief.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is the one we were talking about, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this is the match that was supposed to be on the pre-show, and they ended up taking Shane.
Or no, it was Dean Ambrose.
It was the Dean Ambrose show. Match got moved.
Correct.
To the early show, and then they moved this match up
to
the main. I was actually not disappointed by this. This was the SmackDown Women's Championship.
This is where the iPod commercial happened.
The iPod commercial happens here.
And, so Brandon's talking about Naomi's entrance.
Yeah, when she was all like neon, day glow,
That's her catchphrase.
Poured so much
Feel the glow.
black light into that place
okay.
that you literally couldn't see anything but like her outline and her outfit and her hair, and that's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
It looked like a fucking iPod commercial.
Although I will say she had the coolest entrance out of that match.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. So we had Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Natalya, Carmella, Becky Lynch, and old school Mickie James shows up. Mickie
she's
James
back.
still got
She can still go. Yeah, she was actually in Impact Wrestling for a few years, but it's still been a couple of years since she's been on TV before she came back to SmackDown. So it's cool that she's back. Alexa Bliss was the champion coming into this one. So Naomi wins. I had no complaints about that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Raggedy Ann was in this match too.
Oh, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I like Becky Lynch. I have no complaints about any. I like pretty much
all these women in this match were great.
Yeah, the women's division's great right now. So like I mean I can't really complain about any of them. Yeah. Don't like Eva Marie. She's like probably the only one I don't like. But she wasn't in any of these matches, so that doesn't matter. I would have been cool with Natalya also winning this. She's part of the Hart family. Her father's Jim the Anvil Neidhart. She's Bret Hart's niece.
Yeah.
So, I love Natalya. I would have loved to see... If Naomi didn't win, I would have loved to see Natalya win, but...
That was pretty much how I went about it. I wanted one of those two to leave out of there.
Yeah.
Now, this is a strange event, though. And let me go ahead and tell you why I thought this match was kind of history-making. Name the last time you saw somebody win in front of their hometown crowd.
Oh, that like never happens. Yeah, people always lose if they're in front of their hometown crowd.
Right. So for Naomi to go into Orlando and win at WrestleMania, a six-pack challenge at WrestleMania in front of her hometown crowd.
Yeah, that's her WrestleMania moment. She had it right there.
Yeah, like that was a history-making moment. She's at home, in front of the hometown, friends and family, and you fucking win the title.
Yeah, that was cool. She's great. No, my only complaint was this one seemed like short. I think it was just because it's
5 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah, it was its place in the card. It just they had probably the shortest. I think that's the shortest match of the night.
No, Brock Lesnar was 4:45.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So those were two short matches, basically.
Yeah. Now, would have been cool to see them have more time. Maybe we'll get a rematch down the line. I'm sure you'll see her defending against any combination of the other contestants.
Look, man, there's more talent right now in Raw and SmackDown in the women's division that we saw two women's matches on WrestleMania, and neither one of them disappointed.
Yeah, they were great. On that note, they're actually doing a women's tournament this year. They had, I believe 2 years ago, they did the Cruiserweight tournament. Then last year it was a British tournament for the United Kingdom Championship, which is a new title, which we haven't seen much of yet. Yeah, we haven't seen much of it yet. I think they're working on. I think they're starting to work it into like NXT shows and stuff more. Sorry.
No, that was actually interesting. They got some talent in the women's group, and
women's tournament. That's where I was going with that. Sorry. Yeah, that's gonna be on the network coming up soon. So that sounds like it's gonna be badass. I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more of top women from the indies and all over the world brought into WWE after this. So I mean, it's good right now. But the only complaint I really have about the women's division is that you see the same matches every week because there's not a lot of women in it yet. So I'm hoping that with this tournament they bring in more, so that way they have a little more variety in the matchups. And
I was happy just to see Bayley come in. When Bayley got called up, that was one of the kind of the NXT. You knew like these people that were the independents or the tier under is what I call them. Yeah. They were on the tier under. They hadn't got their call to the majors. When Bayley came up, I was super excited to see Bayley come up.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
And I felt like I was glad to see her hold the title. I wouldn't mind seeing Sasha Banks hold the title. I don't think she's held it this long. But I felt like Charlotte Flair held the title way too long.
Charlotte being Ric Flair's daughter seems like they're priming her to have like a Ric Flair style run. She's probably gonna have a lot of championship reigns, I bet. So.
Oh yeah, man, it feels like it, man. They're just and I'm not a fan. She's a great heel. She does heel better than anybody. I'm just not a big fan of her.
Yeah, I'm a huge Charlotte Flair fan. But yeah, she's a monster heel when she's out there. So I understand why people don't.
Oh, bro, she's hard to root for. I mean, she made her daddy cry.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yep. Yeah, when she turned on Ric Flair, that was savage.
Yeah, man. You turn on your own dad and your dad's Ric Flair, you a cold-blooded bitch.
Yeah, made him cry in the ring.
You made Ric Flair cry. I'll never root for you. All right, now, this is the match that Brandon has not wanted to talk about all night.
No.
And you will be in this conversation. So, in front of a record crowd, which they said it broke a world record. 75,245 people were in the crowd in the Citrus Bowl for this event.
It's a lot of citrus.
That's a lot of citrus squeezers. Okay. So, here was the match. This was the big match of the night. This really nails home the whole thing, that theme about where a torch gets passed. This was a big match.
Ooh,
this is all your fault.
This one.
This is the one where Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Huge match. I fucking piss everybody off before the match gets started because I said I'm a Roman Reigns fan and I want Roman Reigns to win. And everybody was like, well, no, it's WrestleMania. And I was like, well, The Undertaker has lost at WrestleMania before. Yeah. He was, 21-1 going into
21. He was 21 and 1.
It was 21-1 or 22-1
going into this.
22-1 going into this match. And I said he's lost at WrestleMania once before. And everybody's like, it's not happening. And I said, look, man, I'm 46. I'm an old man. I'm understanding that I've seen a lot of WrestleManias in my life at this point. And I kept telling people, I was like, you guys, I remember when I was a little kid and I saw Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant. And that was a defining moment. WWE just imprinted itself on my heart at that point. And it was always when you watched a lot of stuff, documentaries and stuff about that particular one and how it was on NBC that night. And this was before they even had shows, pay-per-views. WWE wasn't doing pay-per-views back then. It was the late night on NBC show. And I kept telling everybody, I said, I've seen torches pass before.
Yeah, it was a Saturday night main event.
Yeah,
that was the old one.
Yeah, and I felt like this night I've seen the torch passed. I kept seeing the torch being passed a lot that night.
Yeah, that was definitely the theme of the evening. So this one, Reigns beat The Undertaker. A lot of us, I think, going in, expected that this was likely going to be Undertaker's last match, and I absolutely would have loved to see him win it. But from what I understand, Undertaker would have had it no other way, and that he wanted to put somebody over on his way out. So he put Reigns over. Reigns won. Was heavily booed, but the crowd, as soon as Taker stood up and then he somehow had his jacket and his hat back on, and then he basically took it off and laid it in the ring. The crowd, the booing subsided for Reigns.
Yeah, because it was no longer about Reigns winning.
Yeah.
It was now about, we just watched history. We were watching the end of, you guys really watched the end of an era.
I really wish that there was just literally anybody else in that match with him.
Yeah,
literally anybody else.
I mean,
I fucking hate Roman Reigns.
I love Roman Reigns. I love Roman Reigns as much as you hate him. That's the sad part about it.
I really want Taker to win this one. I can't lie. I'm not surprised that it was Reigns. It seems like they're really pushing Roman Reigns. He seems to be like the next Cena or Hulk Hogan. So
except that nobody fucking likes him, and that's
how Cena was.
So that's how Cena was.
Yeah,
I mean, if you remember, The Rock was hated when The Rock first came out. Yeah. He was hated.
Yeah,
he got booed all the time when he was just Rocky, whatever his name was. He did not until he became a heel and became The Rock, the People's Champ. That's when The Rock became this larger-than-life personality. And if you've been around WWE, you remember The Rock used to get booed. But I think a lot of people were like, oh, but The Rock was always no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Guy used to get booed out of the arena.
Yeah.
It still doesn't matter. I'm still going to hate him like fucking 5 years from now.
Yeah. I think a lot of people hated that it was Reigns that was in the match with Undertaker's for the final one. And I don't really hate that it was Reigns. I would have loved to see Taker go out on top.
Yeah.
But I kind of just knew this was coming, and
you prep yourself. You kept saying it.
Yeah.
Because when I said it, you were like, I've made peace with it that could happen.
Absolutely. I'm a huge Undertaker fan. He's probably my favorite ever. So I expected that this was going to be his last match. I thought he was never going to come back after the streak was broken. So seeing him wrestle this long after that, I was pleasantly surprised at that. I had a bad feeling going into this one that Reigns was going to win when I knew he was going to be the opponent. So I didn't boo. But at the same time, I am a little bummed that Taker's retiring. And
well, let's go into this. We do know. I've done some reading on this. It is not. We know he has hip troubles, and we knew there was going to be a surgery. It's a full hip replacement.
Yeah, and I think he's ready to retire. So, like, being a huge Undertaker fan, knowing that he was ready to hang up his boots, I was okay with that. So,
and the thing that kills me about him is he's an old school guy. An old school wrestler, guys like him and Mankind, the guys that have been doing this for a lot of years, they always said you go out on your back in the ring.
Yeah.
That's how you leave. You don't
put over the next generation.
You put over the next generation. You always turn it over to the next guy. You don't just, I'm just retiring. And I told you guys, I said, in my fucking 33 years of, WrestleManias, there are a lot of guys who have come into this thing that didn't get to choose how they left.
Yeah.
That don't get that opportunity to put the next guy over. It's very rare to see a Hulk Hogan put over somebody or a Heartbreak Kid put over somebody. Sure. You're still counting these on two hands.
Yeah.
How many guys got to put over the next generation?
People never have a career that long in wrestling, and I mean, especially at that high level of success, he was always a top draw.
Oh yeah.
The entire time he was there. So I mean, it's going to be super weird to not see a WrestleMania with Undertaker in it, but I think they'll be fine. They've got a lot of new guys coming up that are really good. So
yeah, 25, 27 years he's been doing this.
To put that
27.
To get off on a weird side note about Undertaker, he's been in over 100 video games at this point. Like throughout the years, he's been on games going as far back as the NES.
Yeah,
he's probably been in every WWF video game. I don't know if it's been every single one.
Damn near.
Yeah.
Damn near everything that's ever come out. Undertaker's in a version of it.
Yeah. There's a YouTube video out there where they show his character in every one, and it's over 100. I'm fairly certain.
We will find that, and we'll get it up on our Go Team Lift page for everybody to see. But yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, he's in more games than Mario.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Think about that. Okay, Undertaker is in more video games than Mario.
Yeah.
Amazing career. And man, to me, it was one of those matches like to watch him. I was heartbroken. I was kind of like that little, like, dang, that's kind of sad because he took the gloves off and he took the hat off and the jacket off and he put him in the ring and he walks out and he sinks down into the floor and I went, he buried the character.
Yeah.
It was so amazingly dramatic.
Yeah.
But for a Reigns fan, could not be happier with the results. I saw Reigns. Now, here's my thing. This is where the WWE, if they're smart, go ahead and make him a heel.
Like, I would
make him the heel.
I would love to see them do. I don't think they'll do it though. Like, I feel like he's probably approaching that John Cena money level of merchandise, and I think that they'll probably keep him a face because he's selling T-shirts. But I wish they would. I wish.
Oh my God, dude! Yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah, like,
and he would be the biggest selling heel turn ever.
Yeah.
Like there would not be a person in the arena that would not love to see him as a heel.
It would be like when Hogan joined the NWO, there'd be like trash thrown in the ring and.
Oh my! And people went crazy.
Yeah, it's that the crowd already hates Reigns, so it would make sense for him to just go heel, and then he's playing to the crowd, and then at that point, some people are going to start to come around on him,
Exactly.
And,
which I don't get
like
in wrestling.
Like The Rock, when he turned heel, like that was the best thing for his career.
When he turned heel. And he became the people's champion, The Rock, and the eyebrow and the shades, and he talked shit to the crowd and talked down to him.
No, Roman is no Rock on the microphone. That is...
Yeah, he don't got the skills like that.
Yeah, but I think a similar effect could happen.
But here's the thing. The Rock wasn't always that good. The Rock's early promos were shitty.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it turned on that The Rock just decided, wait a minute, I get to be an asshole? And I can just talk shit. Yeah. And it really just seemed like that's all he was doing.
Run when he was with Farouk. And
you want to feel the level of uncomfortable that The Rock can create? Go watch the original Xbox promo with The Rock and Bill Gates. It is the most awkward, terrible thing you will ever watch. Yeah, it's so bad. It's like, I think it's like 5 or 8 minutes or something like that of just him and Bill Gates talking about the Xbox. And it's cringe-inducing.
He's had some suspect movies over the years.
Yeah.
Tooth Fairy. Oh, Doom. Doom for such a great game series, such a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, most video game movies are terrible movies and great games.
Good point.
Yeah, but that one was that's a special place in hell for that one. But no, man, I just felt like that was kind of the theme we saw, man. I liked it. I was happy to see Reigns. As a Reigns fan, I still want to see a heel turn out of him, just because his career would go into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I think Reigns, like, logically, okay, so Brock Lesnar takes the title off of Goldberg. I think Reigns is the guy that's going to take it off of him. That's the only person I can see doing it in the storyline, and I think that it should happen that way because I can't think of anyone else who can take the title off of Reigns. I'm sorry, off of Lesnar.
Off of Lesnar.
But once he does, I mean, it opens up so many other different matchups. Like, I can see Kevin Owens taking the title off of Reigns. I can't see him taking it off of Brock Lesnar. I can see Seth Rollins taking it off of Reigns. I can't necessarily see him taking it off of Lesnar.
I could see...
Although he did with the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I would love to see a match where we get, Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar. I just think that's going to be a phenomenal match.
I could see it happening. I just think Brock would absolutely retain on that one.
Man,
at least right now.
So, I know you guys hated that match. But I think you hated it for other reasons because we know
I just hated seeing Undertaker retire. Yeah, but I don't. As a greedy fan, I hated seeing that. I would love to see Undertaker wrestle forever. I understand though, and I don't want to see the guy go out there and get killed. So
which we've seen that.
Yeah,
and or where they're having to take so many steroids just to be able to. Their bodies in so much pain.
He has nothing left to prove.
Yeah,
so.
Nothing. Now the thing that got me, and I was kind of I was giving Belly a hard time about it, saying, "Man, you're being a greedy fan." That was our thing, but. He said something to me. He said, man, I know I am. But he said, you got to understand something. He said, you probably don't understand this. But he said, for me, I've never seen a WrestleMania where Undertaker wasn't there. He said, think of how old I am. And I was like, holy crap. You grew up with WrestleMania. And all you know is Undertaker every year at WrestleMania. And he was undefeated. He went, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, so the first time you saw him lose, he went devastated.
Yeah, I hated that they ended the streak. Yeah, I mean... I think Lesnar's a monster no matter what. I feel like they didn't necessarily need to give him the streak. Mm-hmm. But at this point, it's already happened. Nobody's complaining about it.
Yeah, no, it's over. But he leaves. And here's my thing. How many other guys can say, I'm 22-2? Nobody.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody else can say that. So, yeah, they ended the streak. Nobody's ever going to... You would never see another record that amazing at
that's
WrestleMania.
And also now that the streak was out the window, that's part of the reason why I had a bad feeling that Reigns was gonna win this one because the streak doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if he's 22-2. It's not. I mean, that doesn't matter. Also, going into the match, seeing Jim Ross come out, knowing he was gonna call the main event, I had a bad feeling that was a send off for Undertaker.
And we thought. Who better to call this match than Jim Ross?
Absolutely, and I am glad that it was him. So
Jim Ross actually signed with WWE again. He's going to be doing several events.
Awesome.
Going forward, so it's not like it was just him showing up for The Rock, my brain,
Undertaker.
for the Undertaker leaving.
Yeah.
It was him showing back up at WrestleMania. That's his first job of a few jobs.
Cool.
I think it's like 6 or 8.
He's been in Japan. He's been putting it down in Japan.
He's been doing New Japan Pro Wrestling, their American TV show with Josh Barnett, the UFC fighter.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool to see him come back. But when I saw him come down, and the thing that got me about that was that he had just lost his wife maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, if that.
Yeah,
it's not too long ago. Yeah, so I knew he just lost his wife, recently widowed. And when I saw him come in, man, like just a moment where all the years of wrestling fan kind of came to fruition for me. It was just to see him come down and the response he got from the crowd, and he puts the headset on and puts the cowboy hat over it, and you're just like...
Good old JR,
I love how he put the headset on, too. He like, nobody else is wearing the headset. He's got it behind his neck, just over his ears, and then he puts the head on top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody does it like him, but, man, that guy is one of my favorites. One of the best to ever be a color commentator in the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so Hall of Fame guy. And then I personally think we will see the Undertaker next year.
Yeah,
I think we'll just be seeing him inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I hope so. That would be fantastic. I also think that this isn't the last we've seen of him on the show. In some capacity, I could see him making appearances. They love hitting you with the nostalgia factor in WWE. So I won't be surprised if we still see him make appearances on the show. Although I do think his in-ring career is done, which I'm okay with. He's had so many great matches.
Yeah, giving us man. When I saw him in Mankind in a Hell in a Cell,
oh man,
bro, that's the match where the Undertaker. Like I hated him. But, man, what a phenomenal damn match. Yeah, and after that, I always just, like, I wanted to see The Undertaker wrestle
and then
so
after
much.
that, he put him through the cage.
Yeah, no.
Top. Yeah, so thrown off the cage. Mick Foley gets off the stretcher, back into the match, climbs back on top, gets chokeslammed through the cage. Tooth goes through his lip, through his nose.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing. If you ever get a chance to read Mick Foley's book, definitely an amazing read. This guy had an amazing career, but he talks about that Hell in a Cell. And Hell in a Cell was, to me, that was the start of the don't give a fuck era in WWE. That bad boy era started with that one match, man, where anything could go.
Yeah, that match, I was watching it with friends, and like when he got thrown off the ring, we were like, oh my god. And then like when he started getting off the stretcher, we were like, no, stay on the stretcher. Like,
he's gonna kill you. I remember having that moment with my friends and go, you're gonna die, bro. Don't do this. And then when he went through the ring into the bottom, like you fell from the top of the cell onto the floor, I was like, I'm done. He's dead. And that fool got up.
Yeah.
And you talk about a guy whose body was beat up.
Wasn't there, like, before the promo, before the Undertaker match, weren't they talking about that Hell in a Cell match? And like, Undertaker got up and was like, you go check and see if he's alive.
No, that was Adam told us this story.
Yeah, Mick Foley's talked about that. Because at some point in the match, Terry Funk comes out and Undertaker beats him up. And this is shortly after Foley, I believe after he was thrown off the top. Taker starts beating up Terry Funk, who at the time was Chainsaw Charlie, I believe, in WWE. Well, he'd also been bouncing around with ECW and WWF at the time as just Terry Funk. But Taker beats up Funk, leans forward so that his hair covers his face, and tells Terry, go make sure that he's alive. That was a story Mick Foley tells at a lot of his stand-up specials. I believe it's in his book as well.
Yeah.
He touches on that.
It's just a great storyteller, man.
Yeah,
he is. But
absolutely.
You got to see him when he was at Cap City.
I did,
when he came here on his stand-up tour. And
I wanted to go to that, and I just didn't have the time or the money.
It's a good time. It's mostly road stories with like some kind of like borderline dad jokes worked in there because he's Mick Foley. But it's because it's Foley. They're funny, and he makes a lot of like everything's a lot of wrestling jokes, and it's great. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. Man, bro, I really appreciate you coming on the show with us.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, we're going to make you the official wrestling correspondent for the Team Lift
bring me back.
Family, man. We got to have you back. Next big event, you're coming back in and we're going to break it down again.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up next? I think it's Payback.
Yeah, Payback is next. I don't remember if that's Raw or SmackDown pay-per-view.
I don't know. We will have to look into that, but we definitely, I think, if we do Payback as a group again, let's bring you back in and let's kind of go through those matches.
I'm down.
All right,
let's do
man. This sounds like a winner. And before we get you out of here, Burial Wraith, you guys have been working on a new album?
Yeah, we got a new EP coming out. We recorded 4 songs about a month ago. Those will probably be ready early summer. So, all the tracks have been recorded. We're just wrapping that up. We're on all the social medias as Burial Wraith.
Give us all the social medias.
All your social medias.
Yeah, give us your social media.
How can we find you on all of your social media?
I know on Facebook it's Burial Wraith.
Yep. Same with Twitter. Same with Instagram.
So at Burial Wraith?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Instagram.
Yeah. Definitely follow our Instagram page. I love Instagram, so give us a follow there.
Okay. Yeah, and you guys, I know y'all just did a show. You got anything coming up in Austin soon?
We've got April 14th coming up at Texas Mist. Okay. So we haven't played there yet. It's the first time in that one. So.
All right, because I know you guys you are very familiar with Dirty Dogs.
Yeah, we played there a ton. That's we just played there a couple weeks ago. Always a good time.
I don't know if you're going to be there Friday. Dirty Dogs, Abolishment of Flesh is in town.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we should try to hit that up.
I'm definitely going to be there that night, so if you're wanting to go, let me know.
Yeah,
okay.
That sounds great. I'm down.
Yeah, man, we can do a death metal show together, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Payback is April 30th.
Does it say it's Raw or SmackDown?
Does not. It just
okay.
I just typed in Payback 2017 and it gave me the date.
Because they split them up now. Now it's every other pay-per-view is Raw and then one SmackDown.
Right. We're gonna have to do some.
It's Raw.
Okay.
It is Raw.
Yeah.
So we got a Kevin Owens on that one.
Yeah. Oh, although that could change because they on this past Monday's episode of Raw they announced that this coming Monday there's going to be a superstar shakeup. So that the GMs will be able to trade certain people, and some people will be forced to change shows. So don't be surprised if you see the big guys that aren't the champs move. I doubt any champions will move unless they like swap the Intercontinental and the U.S. title or something like that. But I don't see them doing that.
Speaking of, usually after WrestleMania, that Raw and that SmackDown are pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a major announcement.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Can we touch on that?
Yeah, a couple. So, one's a return, and then one's a, I guess, upgrade to the main roster.
Yeah.
So, okay, Finn Balor returned on television on Raw after being out with a shoulder injury in a match that he got in a match with Seth Rollins. So that was huge, seeing him come back. That's really awesome. Then the next night on SmackDown, probably my favorite person in the WWE right now, Shinsuke Nakamura. Made his debut on the main roster. He's now part of SmackDown, which has been fantastic over the last couple months. SmackDown's definitely been the better show. So
and it's the Tuesday show. I know it used to be Thursday, but it's Tuesday now.
Yeah, and SmackDown's just been killing it. Shinsuke being on there should be awesome. Hopefully AJ Styles is still there so that we get to see a matchup between them.
That's the match you want to see. Shinsuke versus AJ would be. These two are showmen.
Yeah,
they are absolute showmen, and
absolutely.
That would be an amazing
world class.
Oh yeah, that the match that you can't even picture in your mind how amazing that match could possibly be.
Yeah, they did it once at New Japan, and it was epic. And that's a WrestleMania caliber match right there. So
right. So, and then there's still the possibility with Shinsuke here. One of the biggest matches that people talked about on the internet in the wrestling circle was the Sami Zayn Shinsuke.
Yeah, that was from
Nakamura
NXT Takeover Dallas,
yes.
which was the one right before WrestleMania 32.
Mm-hmm.
And still one of my favorite matches of all time. That was Shinsuke's debut in WWE, but still one of my favorite matches of all time. If I could recommend that you went back and watched one match of the last 10 years, that would definitely be it.
Here's the thing that kills me about this. This was the match from the night before WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
And people, even after WrestleMania 32, were still talking about the greatest match of that weekend.
Yeah, highlighted the whole weekend.
That match at NXT TakeOver.
Yep. And it was in a small arena that was packed, and
people lost their freaking minds on this match.
That was Sami Zayn's send-off from NXT to the main roster and Shinsuke's debut in NXT and in the WWE, and it was a work of art.
Oh, yeah, no, man, and these guys put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
You sent me the video for it, and I just remember, like, if somebody wanted to get into wrestling, here's a master class on how to put on the most amazing match.
Yeah.
Just watch this.
Closest match, I would say, to that one that I've seen since, which was actually not in WWE, is Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada from Wrestle Kingdom. It happened on January 4th of this year, so a lot of people were very surprised. A lot of people are still thinking that's going to be match of the year, and it happened 4 days in. So people have a lot to live up to. Yeah,
here's the thing. And if you're a wrestling fan, if you're new to wrestling, you need to get on New Japan. That was the thing. Our Japan trip, I was going to Japan at the end of the year. We were going for Wrestle Kingdom 2018. Mm-hmm. So we were going to be there for Comic Cat and stay into January 2018 and go to Wrestle Kingdom and then come back to the U.S. So it was going to be a big event. A bunch of friends were going, one of those, buddies trips. And our buddies trips keep getting more epic every year to the point where I'm going to have somebody in our group's going to have to say, bitches, we need a price limit on these trips because this is the big one. We were all dropping at least $2,500 for this one.
Nice.
And Airbnb in Japan, we're going to be, we're going to do it pretty big. Kind of got canceled. I hate you, Belly, and I said that on national radio. Your name's now synonymous with my hate. But things came up. We're still looking at doing New Japan in LA this year.
Yeah.
So they're coming to Los Angeles, and we're looking at trying to put that in there if Japan's going to be canceled. And we are definitely doing WrestleMania New Orleans. Oh. So we're doing 34.
Absolutely.
It's in the book, so I'm doing it. So it's happening.
I'll see
you and I have already been talking about it. I was going, and you're talking
Let's
about
make
going.
This happen.
I was like, this is happening now. I'm going to be at WrestleMania with a bunch of friends in New Orleans next year. We would definitely get you back in throughout the year, man, and we'll kind of keep this going, man.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed the wrestling show, please write in like you always do. We know you will. Hit us up on our Twitter. Hit us up in the email. A lot of guys that listen to our show have finally asked us to do this. This show was dedicated to them. We had a lot more wrestling fans than we realized, and Brandon and I were wrestling fans, but we never discussed it on Team Lift. We don't know how we never discuss something that we watch all the time.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate you coming in, and you're the Team Lift guy when we go to wrestling now. All right.
Bring me back, man. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, man, we loved it, man. Anything big, Brandon? You got any last words?
Nope.
You're still upset about Roman Reigns.
Fuck him.
You have been. I do this show. Like, I don't know if anybody paid attention. Brandon hardly talked through this show because we kept saying before in pre-production before we started recording, Brandon, we're going to talk about that match last. And I probably shouldn't have said that shit because Brandon has not talked much. He just
Maybe
knew it was
got
coming.
that out of the way first.
We should have just started with it and then brought him into the show. Brandon was just stewing this whole time.
I'm blocking it out too. It's been a rough week. Undertaker and Tony Romo retiring in the same week has pulled on my heartstrings a little too much.
I hated seeing Tony Romo go out the way he did. That's all I'm saying.
On that note.
I love Undertaker, but my boy is in the champ. My boy won the match. My boy won.
All right.
And if they'll make him a heel, I will be the happiest person in the world because he would be stratospheric superstar.
Yeah. Fuck Roman Reigns.
Thanks for listening to the Team Lift Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page @GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages @Coach Silky and @Thizide. You can direct questions and comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.